calling domestic village of Papiston.
Male is not supposed to be there. We've taken care of physical, domestic, unknown outcome weapon.
Son's girlfriend is being physical with him in front of the children.
There is a history of domestics at that location.
People always want there to be a reason, because if it happens to me, then it can happen to them. If I look like your daughter and I look like your teacher, it scares people more. I was engaged. I had bought a house. I loved my job. I managed to get his phone after about 3 hours, lock myself into the bathroom, call 911. By the time they got there, I was unrecognizable as a human being. I couldn't talk because my windpipe had been crushed. And the only thing the officer said was, "What did you do to make him angry?" While I was in the hospital, he was taking money out of the bank accounts. What I had planned for my life was going to be completely different than what ended up happening.
Do you know if the advocate will be needed?
Stand by.
I think the police response would have been completely different. And I think there would just be less of a chance that you're going to fall through the cracks.
The program started when we discovered that there was a need for more first contact with victims, and decided that it would be beneficial to go out with law enforcement and kind of see them in the moment when that's happening and be able to provide that information.
Response team, this is Devin.
The advocate is able to step aside and say, okay, the victim has questions. Why is there no arrest being made, or why is it being treated like this? So they don't get in those situations where the law enforcement leaves and it's like, okay, what are my resources? Where do I go now? And they see that empathy and that, that you believe them. The validation is very important. Even if they decide that tonight, it's not the time to leave, and it may not be the time to really do anything about it. It's important to let them know that you're there for them emotionally.
When you do call the police, the response team advocate shows up. They can take you to the safe shelter at that time, not 2 days later when maybe he's convinced you to stay, because that does often happen. I think definitely sitting down with law enforcement and explaining how beneficial this would be, and hopefully getting the services to the victims is priority. We're not there to do the officer's job or prevent them from doing theirs. We're there to be the voice of the victim.
When you've been suppressed for so long, it's difficult to maybe call somebody and ask for something, or difficult to go into that appointment by yourself.
I think, remember the day you were out there talking?
I think we're a good team.
I think we are. You have great ideas.
No, so do you. No,
ideas.
listen, when you're talking to the clients, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's got some good stuff coming.
We'll assess what they need and say they need clothing, say they need food. We'll take them to food banks. We'll get them clothing, take them to appointments. If they want counseling, we will put a counseling referral in for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I can get her vouchers for Clarence Henry Cab to go to and from school,
Yeah.
that would work out. I think it should be a priority that every small city should have an organization like Victims Assistance Center because they deserve that. It's not their fault. But I'm not taking her any place today. We're failing them if we're not providing those resources to them.
This year, I wanted to create a walk for Erie, but then with COVID happening, I kind of had to come up with a different idea. I started a petition, but I think it's hit a nerve where people are tired of it just falling to women in what the cop said. What did you do to make him mad? It was my responsibility. From thinking that your life isn't worth living because you were told you weren't matter. And now today you can look out and see all these people that say that you do. That's the best healing you can have.